desert. The D-backs advance, beating the Rockies in a shootout, 11-8. They get the Dodgers in the NLDS. Start in the 8th inning, guys, because there's a lot of points we can point to in this game. It was 8-7. Greg Holland comes out of the bullpen for Bud Black, and he gives up 3 runs in that 8th inning. Insurance that was necessary for the D-backs to win this game. If we look at Greg Holland's first half of the season, he was great with the Rockies. His second half, ugly. And this performance tonight mirrored that second half performance in the season. Just how brutal was Holland down the stretch and in this game? Did it cost the Rockies?
I think so, because they went out there and they got a runoff for Rodney in the 9th. So if he just could have kept this game in check, but I think that looking at these splits and just the eyeball test, if you watch Greg Holland after the All-Star break, he was not the same pitcher. Maybe he started to wear down because obviously coming off an injury and kind of rejuvenated his career out there in Denver. I think this was a massive mistake by Bud Black. I understand you want to go down with a guy who's been outstanding, really overachieved expectations, but not a guy who's struggling as bad as he was.
But that is your guy, though. I mean, what else do you do? You say that's a massive mistake. If you don't go to your guy, who else do you go to?
I know, but this is the time of year where what you did in May and June, I'm sorry, to me, it doesn't matter. Like, if you pitch great in May and June, that's awesome. Right now, it's October, and since the All-Star break, your ERA is over 6, and you're not throwing the ball a lot of confidence. I'm not turning to you to get the biggest outs of the season. Now, you could say they turn a double play. They go to that inning down 1 run, but they don't, and he just lost it. This was an excellent game. I thought the Rockies showed so much grit. 6-0 on the road against Greinke, who's lights out at home, and to still keep coming after Arizona. I mean, they went down swinging, literally. They just couldn't get any outs.
I mean, you can point to Holland because it was 8-7 in the 8th inning, but if John Gray didn't spot the Diamondbacks a 6-0 lead, then maybe this whole game would have played out differently. You just can't give the Rockies, you just can't give the Diamondbacks a lead like that. I understand the Rockies got it to within one a couple of times, but you're constantly playing that uphill battle, and they were never able to get it even. We know how potent this offense is. They had the 2nd-best home record in the regular season, so they already feel confident at Chase Field in front of the home crowd. Then you give them 6, and not to mention, they didn't even get anything from J.D. Martinez. This is the guy that's been hot as can be, ever since he came over from Detroit. He didn't have any hits, any RBIs, and they still pounded out about 17 hits in this game.
And they got 11 runs on the board against the pitching staff that we know is not maybe the best in Major League Baseball. The Rockies try and beat you by using their offense as well. In that National League side of the ledger, do you look at the D-backs as maybe the most dangerous offense? I know Washington has a good offense, LA has a good offense, the Cubs have a good offense, but Peralta, Lamb, Goldschmidt, Pollock, Martinez. Is this the most dangerous offense on the National League side?
I don't think so. I think they will be second in my opinion. I would say if Bryce is the player that we expect, I still have to roll with the Nationals.
Big if.
But still, we know what Daniel Murphy can do in the postseason. We've seen that before. Ryan Zimmerman was an all-star this year. He is a guy that you can count on. And then we talk about Bryce. Anthony Rendon, heck, this guy had 10 RBI in a game this year. So that lineup is so deep. Trey Turner, when you talk about him getting on base and his speed and the way he can affect the game, stealing bags, I mean, I know the Diamondbacks have 2, 3, 4 guys, but I just feel like the resume of the Nationals, they're even deeper with the guys they bring up in that lineup.
I think if Bryce Harper gets back to where he was, where he, in my eyes, he was going to win the MVP before he gets hurt on that freakish play at first base, you may be right. But I think Arizona's got the best 1-2 punch as far as Goldschmidt and Martinez. And right now, they're in an offensive rhythm where they just kept finding out ways to put up runs in this game because I thought they had lost momentum. And then their offense bailed them out time and time again. I think Arizona is the better offense right now. I think the Dodgers are shaking in their boots.
Yeah, I wouldn't say the Dodgers per se. I don't think the Dodgers are shaking in their boots. But once again,
they matched up late in the season, and I know that was when the Dodgers were in that horrible
run. They won
run.
6 straight, the Diamondbacks did. They have a 6-game winning streak, and they beat them in a regular season series. So the D-backs should feel confident the way they played them in a regular season.
And if you look at Goldschmidt's right-handed, Martinez is right-handed, and when you look at the Dodgers, their best pitchers happen to be all lefty. So I'm not really sure that's the best matchup in the world for them either.